Here we go. So
Here we
now,
go.
Natalie, Mango, it's all yours.
Hello, hi everybody. My name's Natalie. I am the Community Engagement Specialist at the Sacramento SPCA. Today we are here to represent the Love on Loan program. This is Mango, who is not officially a Love on Loan dog for various reasons, but he is with me today to kind of demonstrate the evaluation process that we go through at the shelter. Just to explain a little bit more about what we're looking for in an animal, specifically dogs in this case, when we're trying to get people onto our team. So before I get into that, just a little information about the Love on Loan program. So Love on Loan has been operating for about 40 years, so since 1984 at the Sacramento SPCA. It is completely comprised of volunteers and their owned dogs, so they are not available for adoption. Very important factor here. And so what we do is we go to community organizations, whether that's workplaces, senior facilities, children's homes, occasionally elementary schools, and we provide stress relief and just generally good times to folks who need it and who might not otherwise be able to interact with animals. And so if that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely pay attention to the evaluation process. Hopefully Mango will eventually pay attention to the evaluation process. And you can learn a little bit more about how your dog can get involved and what exactly we're looking for. So to start off, one of the biggest things that people often tell me when they want to be in Love on Loan is that they have a dog who absolutely loves people. And that therefore they would be a really good therapy dog. And while that is one of the most important factors to be a therapy dog, that is not the only one. So one of the things that we look for is that your dog or animal is okay being in a room with other dogs and animals, because 9 times out of 10, you will not be the only person going out on a visit, and there will be a group of folks with you. And so we need to make sure that all of the animals are friendly with one another. The other thing is that you're gonna want a dog who's not actually doing what Mango is actively doing right now, which is that he is so overly excited, albeit currently towards people, but he is not really focusing on me. And you can take this also if your dog is overly excited when they see other dogs. That is also an issue, even if they're being friendly, because we are there first and foremost to provide a service to community members, and we shouldn't have our dogs just wanting to play with each other and not paying attention to our clients. So let me see if I can get Mango to focus with a treat, and we can get started with the actual evaluation. So when you come into the shelter, and notice how he's barking, also not great. This is the point. This is why I chose Mango, because he is absolutely adores people, is a love, but there are reasons why he's on the program. And so, hi Mango, thank you. You don't need any more treats. You've had enough treats for like the year, so you're good. Okay. So when you come into the Sacramento SPCA, you would meet me in the lobby with your dog. And we would have your dog walk around the adoptions building, so usually down the hallway and back. Mango, come here. So we're just basically seeing how well they're leash trained, that they're not pulling, and that you can recall your dog when necessary. We don't want them straining, as Mango was doing, to try and get to people or other animals, and generally just want to see a loose leash, and even if it gets tight, that they are able to come back to you and get to a loose leash position. Mango, we're working on it. Okay. And then after that, we usually take a walk through the lobby, just to see how your dog interacts with other people and people they do not know. And so where does the camera end? If I walk out here, will they be able to see me?
Probably no further than the black line.
Okay, so we will walk to the first, then this black line, then never mind. We will not walk towards the people.
Good.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna let Mango walk over here. And just see how he engages with people. Currently incredibly excited, usually goes right up. This is the kind of dog that will ignore every dog at the dog park and just ask for pets instead. And so it's just seeing how engaged he is with people. If he looks like he's stressed in any way or uncomfortable with meeting new people, then that would be a conversation we would have towards the end of the evaluation. But in general, you want a dog who's going to be excited to meet new people, but not jumping up or like causing a ruckus because you're there. Mango, we're not leaving yet. He's like, and I'm done. Okay, come on. Hi, thank you, Mingo. And so after that, Mingo, hi, hello, thank you. Yes, this is his #1 trick. Okay, so after that, we would test your dog to see how comfortable they are with wheelchairs, carts, basically things you would see in a medical facility. We obviously don't really have a lot of medical equipment, at least in the adoptions building, to test things exactly. But what I do is I will grab a cart and just kind of wheel it around the dog to see how comfortable they are with that. It is okay if they are looking at the cart or curious, but we don't want them to be scared or try and attack or be overly curious to the point where they're going to be causing an issue with medical staff. For wheelchairs, we pretty much just take an office chair with wheels and wheel it around them. We also want to make sure that they are comfortable with loud noises. So any kind of thing that might be like a disruptive sound or something off in the distance, we want to make sure that they're not too nervous about it. It's okay if they react, but we don't want them to focus on it. And it's all about really recovery, because obviously if something's really loud, anybody's going to pay attention to it, but how fast do they recover and how fast do they go back to you? Huh, Mango? Yeah, very good. Okay, checking in with Mango. And so then after that point, we usually head to the multi-purpose room to kind of do a recall test. So it's just making sure that your dog knows its name in the most basic form, and that they're able to sit and stay while you walk away from them. So I'm going to attempt this with Mango, even though he is really amped right now. But worst case scenario, I'll be running in that direction to grab him. So Mango, stay there. You would back up, and then at some point you have them come to you, which he's not going to do because he's not cooperating at all today. But would be a really cute picture, Mango. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, thank you, Mango. Wow, you did it. Okay. So seeing how fast they recall and really just the engagement between you and your dog. One of the things that we like to say is that Love on Loan is a little different from the other therapy dog programs because your dog doesn't have to be perfectly trained. So we're not looking for 1,000 tricks, but they do need to be very obedient and very, very well behaved, just due to the nature of the clients that we work with. Come here, Mingo. So then after that, the last part of the evaluation is a dog meet. So when we can, we try and do a dog meet with at least 2 dogs, a small dog and a large dog, just to see how your dog reacts with either kind of dog. This is because sometimes dogs do okay with dogs that are their size, but they might not like dogs that are much larger than them, or vice versa. And so your dog would meet probably Mango, potentially a shelter dog who's super well behaved and dog friendly. But it's just seeing how they engage with that dog, whether they get overly excited to be there, or obviously if they show any signs of aggression or stress. And so after the evaluation, if you pass, then it is all good to go. You would be on a 3-visit probation. So go on your first 3 visits. If at any point any of my existing volunteers bring something up, I would have a discussion with you about it and kind of see what went down. If not, that has not happened so far, then you are officially in the program. You would get one of the lovely shirts that Brian is currently modeling for us. And you'll be good to go there. If for any reason your dog does not meet the mark, like Mango, I would talk to you about why and see if it's something that is trainable or if you feel comfortable spending time on so that you can come back and get reevaluated if it's nothing too serious. So for example, for how Mango has showed today, it would probably be more about making sure he's comfortable in new spaces, which he usually is. Not entirely sure why he's so ramped up to be in this specific room. Um, and then about like engagement with him and making sure that there's a way that he will continue to engage with you regardless of what's going on around him. The other thing with Mango specifically is he does not like being held, so he will try to bite anybody who holds him, which is his red line. There is no possible way that he makes it officially into the Love on Loan program, as much as he absolutely adores kids and people. And so that is kind of a point that I really want to make today is that there are a lot of wonderful, wonderful dogs, but when you sign up for the program, we do send a self-evaluation. And at that point, it's just a point of being honest with yourself of whether or not your dog is able to handle going to different places, interacting with different people, and not getting incredibly overwhelmed or overly excited, as my partner here has exhibited. All of that being said, does anybody have any questions so far? Yes. Yeah, so we actually have a slide with all of the organizations that we typically go to on a more or less regular basis. So every month we go to 3 different senior facilities. We have 2 children's homes, and those are our recurring monthly. No, it's 4 senior facilities and 2 children's homes, but our different recurring monthly visits. We also do a lot of work with Sac State, and that is through different groups, clubs, and organizations on campus. We go to the Crocker Art Museum for a lot of their events. Yeah, so it just depends. And then there's, of course, like one-off visits when people just want us to show up that one time, or, you know, occasionally we'll get businesses who ask us to come. But those are usually like a one-off thing. Do you just want to go say hi?
Actually, our staff asks for a Love on Loan.
Oh yeah, that is true. Sometimes we have Love on Loan for staff, like our SPCA staff. We also work with Camp Kindness, which is our summer camp for kids. And so that's really cool because we teach kids how to engage and approach dogs. And so they're able to practice everything they've learned that day with our therapy dogs.
Question for you. I saw some dogs at the airport and they're mainly like comfort dogs you can pet and stuff. Is that a different program?
That is a different program. So we don't usually go to airports or hospitals because they have a higher level of like standards for us as a therapy dog organization. That is another thing. So while our dogs do go through an evaluation process at the shelter, we don't provide official certification that your dog is a therapy dog. And so the folks that we do work with tend to be a little bit more casual about what they're looking for and are comfortable with like pet dogs coming, whereas anything that's more demanding like an airport or a hospital, more than likely will want those certifications and that very diligent training. Yeah.
Probably similar than with going to a special needs program or something like Gigi's Playhouse or other organizations like that. That's not something that you would engage in then with these dogs potentially.
So we have gotten, so like for example, for the Crocker Art Museum, we go to their Art on the Spectrum event, which is geared towards kids on the spectrum or who are otherwise neurodiverse. And so we've had really great success there. It is up to the organization whether or not they feel comfortable with like our level of evaluation. And so that is not, I do not personally say no to all hospitals. If a hospital were to approach me, obviously I'm very transparent about like the process that we do go through. And then it's up to them whether or not they would like to engage with us. But I do refer them to other therapy dog organizations that are able to provide like the official certification that their dog has gone through however many hours of training.
They come to me.
Yeah. Good job, Mango. Are you good now? Is that all you wanted? Are
I
you
think you
happy?
could tell I'm stressed out.
Like, let me help him. Oh, I'm sorry.
I actually do have a question.
Yes.
So I know this program is based out of the Sacramento SPCA, but we have folks that are coming from other agencies and other parts of the state. Do other SPCAs in California do a similar program that you're aware of?
I am not sure. So all of the SPCAs don't really work together in the sense that like we're not under an umbrella company, if that makes sense. So I can't access all of the programs that the other SPCAs do. It's essentially like a franchise where we have our own kind of CEO. We do share the name, but beyond that, there's not really a solid connection. And so Love on Loan specifically is a Sacramento SPCA program. I could not speak to other SPCAs having one. I'm pretty sure this is, don't quote me on this, based on a Google search once, that I think Placer might have a similar program. But other than that, I'm not sure. Yeah.
And then another question, I know the answer because I've talked to you about it before,
Yeah.
but for folks here and online, are dogs the only animals that you guys use?
No, so dogs are not the only animals. They are definitely our most requested and most active members of the Love on Loan team. Obviously, because they're much more adaptable to new places. We do have cats in the program. We also have 1 or 2 hamsters. We once had a pony. We are open to all kinds of animals so long as they are well behaved and capable of being able to do the work. And so whatever you have, just shoot me an email, let me know. I will work with you on getting that particular animal evaluated. Obviously, the evaluation process is a little different dependent on the species of an animal. I'm not going to have somebody walk their hamster on a leash to demonstrate that they are good on walking on a leash. Not necessary. But in general, the general criteria that we're looking for kind of stays the same regardless. Yeah.
So here at CDFA, we just did a cutest pet contest and people are voting on it right now where we submit pictures. And I've seen bearded dragons, I've seen a frog, a turtle, and a spider.
Oh.
They're ducks, yeah. So what about those kinds of animals, the exotic ones? What do you think?
I feel like a bearded dragon would do okay. But the spider, this is not because I'm anti-spider, but I can see people being more uncomfortable than comforted if we were to bring a spider. You know, that's just off the cuff guess. Plus, they could run away, and what are we going to do that, right? So definitely just keep in mind the transportation element and being able to have your animal safely in different areas. We also have like rabbits and stuff like that. So like, for example, Jeff is one of our hamsters that we have in the program. And so when Jeff comes out, he comes in his little like transport cage. We have Gina, his owner, hold him and physically hand him to every single person so that there's no chance that he runs away. He also, I think he does have a harness. And like a little purse carrying satchel thing. So he is like a hamster on the go. So whatever species of animal, just make sure they're okay with traveling on the job. Yeah.
Marnie with her guinea pig.
Marnie, yeah.
She brought children to the receiving home, and the kids just love the guinea pig so much that I said, Marnie, why are we even here with 4 or 5 dogs? All the kids are crowding around the guinea pig.
Tell that story again.
Yeah, the story was that Marnie, who did Natalie's job before Natalie came along, and she brought her hamster, whose name was Toupee, and it looked like a toupee. And Toupee, the kids just loved because they could pick him up and they could walk around with him. So I'd be standing there with 3 or 4 other dogs, and we had done a visit for about 15 minutes, and suddenly all the kids, a dozen or more, were with Toupee. And Toupee was getting all the attention. But I told Marnie, why do we even bring the dogs? I mean, you just take right over. Jokingly, of course.
Yeah, I think that tends to happen. I think because most people expect dogs, it's kind of like, okay, there's a dog. But as soon as there's another kind of animal, everybody gets pretty amped about it, including Mango. Mango, please don't yell at me.
Any other questions, either online or in the room?
Good job, Mango.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to introduce your team to?
You
Everybody?
guys want to introduce yourself and like how long you've been in the program? An off-the-shoulder look from Slate.
Hi, I'm AJ, and this is my dog Ellie. And Ellie is a certified hospice therapy dog, an AKC certified dog. He's 9 years old, and before COVID, we worked on a regular basis in the same kind of facilities. And then during COVID, he thought he was retired. And now we're back working again. So he's one of the most chill dogs you'll ever meet. It's just really hard to even get him to stay on his 4 feet.
My name is Brian Campbell. This is my, I think, 14th or 15th year as a volunteer. I was a school teacher in city schools, and when I got to retiring, my wife said, you have 6 months to find some place where you can volunteer. Well, it didn't take me that long. I got into the training program to walk dogs, and then we had the Love on Loan come along, and my previous dog was the same breed as this guy, which is a Norwegian Elkhound, and he did it for 10 years. And this guy is in his 3rd year of doing it. So, and it's been very worthwhile, really. Just being able to see people that want to see dogs and want to visit with us. And when requested, he will immediately jump up on a bed. So thank you very much.
I think that's it unless anybody.
Well, thank you guys for being here. Are there any other questions, either from the folks here in the room or online?
Also happy to answer any general SPCA questions.
Any
So.
general SPCA questions? Well, I'm not seeing any. Well, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you to your dogs for being here and all the work that you guys do. Guess I don't need this anymore, huh? There we go. So thank you guys for being here today. I did want to point out that we did a donation drive for the SPCA this year. Again, just like last year, we've got our donations over here on the table. So thank you everybody that donated to the SPCA this year. We came about even with what we did last year. But again, the Inspection Services Division really knocked it out of the ballpark and had a lot to donate this time. So ISD out of Gateway Oaks, thank you so much for everything that you brought. And then we even have some more stuff that's coming out at the Division of Measurement Standards, because I was not fighting traffic to go get that this morning. So, but again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everything that you do. And stay in touch for the next event from the Disability Advisory Committee. So for those of us who are here in person, now we can pet the dogs if you want to.
Yay!
Thank you, everybody.
You were a good dog. Come on.